All right. Good morning. We're back live from Tucson, Arizona for some chicken yoga. And no, it's not live. And it's recorded. And welcome back. If you're regulars, if you're new, glad you found us. So you're saying, where's the cats? I know. They were out carousing literally all night last night, and so they're fast asleep. But what we'll do, I guarantee you some cats, no matter what I have to do, but I don't want to force them. So we'll do some poses, see if they wake up, and when we come up to, we'll do a transition up to standing, where my head usually gets cut off anyway, and then while you're taking a water break, I'll go find some cats, and I'm confident that should work. So anyway, so we're meditating. Welcome to all. If you were here last week, the sun is rapidly cutting my shade off, so we'll also do the best we can with that. So it's a little bit after sunrise for me. You can do this anytime you want. So let's start with our usual warm-up routine. Grasping the feet. Inhale up, exhale over. On an inhale, slowly come up. Go into our camel ride. You guys know this. Exhale back. Round your back. Inhale forward. So you guys understand I only give the cueing for the person who may have never practiced with us. And I hope that if you are one of my regulars, that you just kind of tune it out a little bit. Don't worry about it. The reason I mention it is because some of the cueing can get kind of tedious, and a lot of parts of the practice. So what we're going to do today is look at some of the bandhas, and they're very interesting, but there's a lot of stuff in yoga that goes beyond interesting to just incomprehensible. And so I feel it's my job to kind of sift through all this yoga information and figure out what is useful and what is not so useful. And deepen your practice without sort of cluttering it with things that aren't really necessary. So I'm going to transition from just straight forward and straight back to like a rolling movement. So a case in point is you don't hear me discussing the chakras, but I think the bandhas are more relevant. And then as far as energy centers go, sometimes I discuss the Chinese ideas. They're slightly less esoteric, and they relate directly to your physical body in a way that most people can feel immediately without having to attain a deep trance state or something, right? So I hope I'm not offending anybody, and I'm certainly not discounting any of the thousands of years of Ayurveda or Hindu wisdom, but there's only so much I can tell you about in 1 hour, so every teacher has to decide what they're going to try to convey. So in other words, in a lot of ways, I'm trying to simplify your practice, at the same time deepening it in some areas, right? Hope that makes sense. So next time I come to the front here, I will lay the hands on the knees. So we're going around in these circles. Oh, look! Baby monster reappeared. And so what happened? Oops. So what happened is there was a technical difficulty, and the video got erased. So the sun is much higher now. It's after 7. We're not going to be able to stay out here for the full practice. Most of the practice got erased. Some wacky chicken hijinks. I don't know what happened. So we're just gonna. I really don't know what happened, and I'm not thrilled about having to do half the practice over again. And but that's my problem, not your problem. Let's go to here. Okay. And but at least we got our cats, you know. We had no cats before. Yeah, I know. So we're going around like this. So, oh, easy. So, so we were talking about the bandhas. So this is your Uddiyana bandha, or your belly band, belly lock. But as I was mentioning, there's different. You can look at these things from different traditions. And so I was saying, I think that I find the Chinese tradition more useful. That's why I discuss the Dantian, because the Dantian already has this circle idea rather than the other energy centers, which are just these sort of vague energy centers. But if I bring my chi down to here and I'm moving from here, it's not up in my head. It has a direct physical feeling that I can feel. And as I go around to the back, that's the Ming Men. Very useful. And you have this in Pilates. So Pilates might say, when you're laying on the mat, engage the abs. That would be bring your mind to the Dantian. We're going in the other direction again now. So, and then he might say, move your lower back down to the floor. That's bringing your chi to the Ming Men. Okay, so some of these concepts are more useful than others. I may have gotten twisting around the other way again. I don't know which. As I was talking, doesn't matter. You guys know what you're doing. We're just rotating, and we'll come back here. So the reason why, and then there's another concept too. When you bring your chi down here, they say bring the fire under the pot, right? To have your chi up here when you want it to be down here is like having your cooking fire above the pot, right? Uh-oh, she's bonking the mic again. Oh no, that's gonna be really loud. That's gonna be super loud. Stop it. Get away from there. Let's see, where were we? We're back to here. So again, when the hands come to the knees, now you can go down to the Mula Bandha, or the lowest lock. again, I don't remember what I told you because half the practice got erased. We were saying, did I tell you how my original Pilates teacher said that the way to think of the Mula Bandha is if you're waiting on an important call, but you have to go to the bathroom, you decide to go to the bathroom, and the call comes in right when you're right in mid-process, and so you have to stop. That's the muscles, those muscles. Hey, did you see that? Fauna, leave her alone. Leave her alone. That's so mean. Can't believe she just did that. I want to see that on instant replay. Did she run Baby Monster out of here? Terrible. All right, good. So wherever we're at, we're done with that. And then we're going to do some, let's shake our legs out. We'll do some, what I would call disambiguation of poses that look very similar, but they have different energy, right? Come back, baby. Here she comes. So I'll turn sideways or obliquely just so you can get a little bit better idea of what's going on. So in some traditions, they call this pose Mahamudra, which means something like great pose or highest pose. It's supposedly very significant. Feet are flexed, and but I've heard Mahamudra referred to as different things, so don't quote me on that one. We're going to come up to here so I can lace my fingers together, press my palms upward. I'm also pulling up through the crown point of the head. The whole point is to keep the back straight as I fold forward from the waist. And if I'm honest, and I'm not really bending my back too much, I can't come very far forward. Some people can still lay flat on their legs, right? And still push out through your heels. Okay, so this is good for the back and for the whole core, and you're lengthening the back of the legs. Anyway, press out, pull up, straighten up a little bit. One more chance for a good posture, and then we can relax. See the difference? See and feel the difference, completely different. So now we have cats and no chickens. That's just wonderful. Oh, we have Becky in the background. So funny. So like I say, a bunch of this practice got erased. I don't know what I told you. I think I did a introduction of the chickens, because you guys know the cats. Baby Monster, who's not a baby anymore, but she's still a monster. Banu. So we have, come here, Rita. Come here, Rita. Come here, Rita. Come here, Rita. Not you. Well, if Rita comes over, baby will probably leave. Okay, this is Rita. She's a Rhode Island Red. And then in the background is blonde Becky, and she is a Buff Orpington. She was broody, but now she's not. Yay! She's laying eggs again, you guys. Okay. And so that was our two forward bends, and then our pike, which there is no word for pike in yoga, but you see what was wrong here was this sharp bend. So chi can't really flow fully through there. In the Chinese tradition, they would not have this sharp bend. They might fold here. These are referred to as the kwa, right? But not this sharp bend. So it would scoop. So, and also in Pilates we scoop too. So we scoop back. I went to a pointed foot, and the feet lightly pressed together. So this is my pike energy. I'm reaching forward, but you say, yeah, but if I reach forward, I just come forward. So there's an equal pulling back as there is a reaching forward. And the two don't think of the two as canceling each other out. Think of the two as multiplying each other. So it's not 50% pulling back, 50% reaching forward equals 0. And it's also not 50% pulling back, 50% reaching forward equals 100. No, it's a multiplier. It's oppositional forces within the body actually multiply your power. I hope you feel that. Okay, and that's useful. That's not up here. This is, uh-oh, she sees some sparrows. Okay, so let's see. So that was our pike energy. And we do, as long as we're here in our pike, we do our pendant from the pike. So remember, if you press your palms down, you may bend your wrist uncomfortably. If you press your fist down, you may hurt your fingers. So it's up to you. And then it's not just pushing down, it's pulling up, which is the whole point. Otherwise, we wouldn't be doing it. So try that on an exhale. Think more about pulling up than you do about pushing down. That's enough. Okay, great. What's Becky doing back there? I don't trust her. And look, Banu doesn't know enough to get out of the sun. I hope you can see Banu. Oh, maybe you can't. He's over there. Let's see. What were we doing? Oh, yeah. So more disambiguation. If I was to do this is what you see in track and field all the time, this half forward bend, or sometimes they call it a runner's stretch. If I was to walk my hands out, we've already done a bunch of forward bends, so we don't need to do this anymore. But this looks a lot like my sitting gait. So in the sitting gait, it's a twist away, and I'm never gonna turn back this way ever again. Okay, you can flex that foot. So the part where we want to turn back is when you bring this hand over here. So maybe it's just better. So this is what makes it look like a gate here. But maybe it's just better to leave this here. Okay, it doesn't look so much like a gate, like the wrought iron part of a gate. So this is a strong side bend. Well, my hand's already got a sunburn on it. Inhale, reach up, and release. And then as long as we're here, why don't we bring our hands behind us and just do a little press up? As long as we have our mind in the core this morning. All right. Okay. Switch, please. Okay, so remember, we've already done enough forward folds, but if we hadn't, you'd walk your hands down. So we're going to go right into twisting away. So I really wonder ecologically, I don't see these chickens doing anything good for this little micro environment here. All this scratching, I wish that they were aerating the soil or something like that, but they're really just creating more desert. And and you know, there might be some way that they're causing seeds to get planted, but I think they're eating all the seeds. I really don't know. All I know is my yard is all just dirt now. Otherwise, we would be doing this in the main part of my yard with the fish and the plants and all that. But so we know that wild chickens in Hawaii are doing tremendous damage to the environment. Only thing I can think of is that the chickens' ecological niche, they need to move around a lot so that they can't do too much damage in any one area. That's all I can think of. Or they need more predators. They might need more predators. Maybe we need fewer chickens. I don't know. It's a hard thing. Let's see. So, oh yeah, press up. Set back down. Okay. So, let's move to our Thunderbolts. Just two. What's going on, baby? Yeah, you're safe. And we also know the ecological damage that the cats do to the bird populations. All right. So the problem is when you try to figure out these ecological imbalances is that in our world everything is out of balance. So it's hard to figure out what thing. So are cats eating too many songbirds, or are there too many songbirds because songbirds have no more predators? Or are there too many cats because cats have no predators? Or are cats not supposed to be here? And so it's hard to tell. And not to lecture, but to unravel it all, you actually do need experts to study it. What I'm saying is that just leaving it all alone, the way some ecologists want to do, it's too far out of balance now to just leave it alone and expect it to all go back to the way it should be. It could take centuries. So if you care about the environment, you actually have to do some management and study the heck out of this stuff, and look really carefully at your modeling. But there's tons of biologists now that do nothing but count populations and look at stuff. So we're far more enlightened than we were before. So let's press up to a hanging forward bend. And then we will do more disambiguation. We'll look at the difference between straddle and skandasana and lunge. So straddle, no, it's all right, don't worry. And so straddle is just a good generic pose, and I could walk my hands over to one leg if I wanted to, keeping both legs straight, not pivoting the legs. And I could even add a twist. I could twist inward, facing towards my body, or outward, facing away from my body. And then, so we don't have to hold these very long because we're going to do a lot of similar movements. Okay, so then I come over to the other foot, I relax here, I could bring the head down towards the knee if I wanted to, and I could twist. An inward twist is towards, back towards my body, facing towards my body, or outward, facing away from my body. Okay, so that's just a real generic straddle variation. So what about skandasana? Skandasana, I'm more in a line here. There's this stays here, and I'm not pivoting my feet at all, and I'm sinking down into this leg, stretching through here, and it's common to turn outward. Some people can really sink down here, not me. And then walk your hands over to the other side. So it's good that we had that warm up first. So we tried it the other way first. Let's do one more to each side, okay? So still no pivoting of the feet. So watch in lunge, we'll pivot in lunge. Completely different. Tiny differences make a big difference. Hey, here comes fauna. So, continuing with the chicken introductions. So you should know the chickens as well as you do the cats, because these chickens are layers. They're going to be around for a long, long time. They're not broilers. I'm not going to kill them. So that's fauna. So we're pivoting around into lunge. Fauna is a Oricana, which is the closest to the proto-chicken. Come here, fauna. Come here, fauna. Oh, she's busy. It's the closest to the proto-chicken that we have available in America, and it's a South American. So the proto-chicken, the original descendant of the chicken, arose in South America. It would be like the wild dog of Africa. All right, let's come around to the other side. And the other chickens know that she's pretty almost genetically different. Right, fauna? Yeah, it's good, fauna. She has that little beard. The other ones, they know she's weird, and they kind of pick on her a little bit. So I'm pivoting around. And then you can do your twist. How about one more breath? Okay, back to center. Hang out in the center. Now, if you want to do more of a splits or something, you can drop down to your elbows or to your head. I don't do my headstands anymore on the dirt. You guys all know Rita, Rhode Island Red. She's like the rooster of the bunch, if there is one. She's the smallest, but she's the toughest. Don't drink my water. So let's walk our feet in. Okay, so when I come up, my head's gonna get cut off, and it's really late, you guys, and so I can't do the standing poses in the blasting sunlight. So I think maybe we'll go into the dojo. I don't know. All right, let me see what happens when I come up. Oh no. Yeah, it's too bright. Okay, so we'll take a water break, and then I think we'll move to the dojo and do some standing poses. So say goodbye to the chickens for right now. Say goodbye to the chickens. Bye, you guys, and we will be back. Little water break. And we're back. Okay, so we had to come into the dojo because it's Tucson, Arizona in June, and there were technical difficulties delaying the practice until it's almost 8 o'clock, which means it's in the 90s, and the sun's just too much. So we have Baby Monster joined us. You had your chickens. So we'll do some standing poses. Let's do our temple pose, okay? And so this is one where the feet are not parallel. They're a little bit wider than my shoulders, angled out slightly. I'm wearing long pants. This is crazy, but so let's start with our hands to our heart. So start by sinking straight down. So sitting down as if you're sitting on the edge of a bar stool. And remember what we were talking about. So you would pull in, you do a gentle Uddiyana Bandha, meaning pulling in here. But then what about the back? So the Uddiyana Bandha does not address the back. If I want to flatten my back out, either it has to happen, and I don't mean flatten my whole back, but here, it either has to happen just coincidentally with pulling this in, or in the Chinese tradition, if I bring my qi back to the Ming Min, or push the Ming Min out, I'm doing the same thing. So you could say it's all kind of the same thing, different ways of referring to the same thing, and you'd probably be right. So anyway, so we can meditate here, or we could continue on. So let's continue with some different mudras, just to keep things interesting. Your legs should be sort of lined up along this diagonal. You should feel no tension or no pain in your knees. Your knees should not be beyond your toes. That's a good rule of thumb from your vantage point here. Okay, and then also, let me tell you too, in addition to sitting down, you're also pulling up through the crown point of the head, and that's lengthening the spine. Okay, so good, we got that. So then the next mudra is with the elbows firmly placed in the rib cage, and then keeping those elbows and arms pressed to your ribs, pull the hands back. And unless you're like double jointed or something, this should feel challenging. You should feel stretching through the fascia. In other words, there's connective tissue that's not letting you pull your arms way back, right? But this is a good stretch. Okay, good. I hope my head's not cut off. I'm going to step back a little further just in case. And I hope you can still see baby. I can never set this stuff up just right. Okay, and then the next mudra will be with the palms on the crown point of the head. Pull the elbows back now. Pull the knees wide. Remember the connection between the elbows and the knees, shoulders and the hips. So as the hips sink down and pull back, so do the shoulders float up and pull back. Good. Straight up. So we're mimicking the architecture of various temples. Okay, when the arms go up, sink down, right? You can't, because if the arms come up and you press up, you've lost everything. But again, these are oppositional forces within the body. As you pull up, sink down. Good for your stability. Hands back to your heart. And then hands in this mudra behind the back. Okay, so then I threw everything off when I brought my hands behind my back. So I have to do my Uddiyana Bandha and push my lower back out again. It's good. Sink down, pull up. Everything's about right. Good. Press my palms together. One more breath. Hands back in the Anjali Mudra. Okay. How about one more nice deep breath here? Exhale, press up, and release. So now we should be very stable, allowing us to go right into our balance. Let's do the Bikram head to knee pose, which is sort of a half pike, or that's where our mind is going to be, on this pike, not on our head, not on our knee. Okay, remember, it's all about your awareness. Where are you placing your intention in your body? Okay, so pick a leg, extend it out. If you hold past the knee, you can straighten the leg. If you hold at the thigh, you're going to have a really hard time straightening that leg, right? So it's worth it. And then again, I'm not thinking head to knee, because for me that's absurd. You can point the foot. That'll make it a little easier. And I'm scooping and hollowing here. That's all I'm doing. No big deal. This comes from the Bikram set. It feels like Bikram here in the dojo right now, because I don't air condition the entire dojo just for one person. One person and one cat. Right, so other leg. Okay, reset. Sink everything down. Relax. You can't balance unless you're relaxed. Okay, this leg comes up. Hold. Straighten. Scoop, hollow. Reach forward, yet pull back. Uh-oh. Don't watch me, I'm losing it. No, I'm okay. So you notice my supporting leg is not straight. Some teachers would say that's wrong, but the more muscles you can involve, they can all help you to balance. If you lock that knee out, then you're not involving any muscles, hardly any muscles at all. You're just teetering like on stilts, right? So even if it's wrong, I say it's permissible. Okay, so more standing poses, and then we'll come down and keep this poor cat company, because she's so starved for attention. So I told you guys earlier, I believe. Oh, she's doing poses. Uh-oh. Pose alert. Uh-oh, I think we have to, we have to, this is part of cat yoga. If she does a pose, we have to imitate it. Everybody. We have no choice. Uh-oh, roll over. Like that, I think. Is that right? Something like that. What's she doing now? Okay, pose alert is over. Come back to standing. Where were we? Oh, I was saying the reason the cats were not with us earlier this morning is that they were out all night. And while we took our little water break, I looked in my yard and they destroyed everything. There's flower pots knocked over. Everything is a wreck. And I don't know what they were doing. But that's why she's so exhausted. Okay, so remember, if we see her strike a pose that is even vaguely similar to a yoga pose, we're going to imitate it. Otherwise, it wouldn't be cat yoga. Okay, so I'm not going to turn away from you. Let's turn to one side and bend your knee. Here's a warrior two. No, you know what? Let's do triangle instead. Straighten that leg back out. Ease over and down. Slowly come down. It doesn't matter how far you come down. When you get down is about as far as you feel like you're going to go. Then turning from here, come back up and look back up at your hand. Don't torque your neck. It's a hip twist. So we can practice our different ways of getting up from here. So method one would be climb the leg. Method two would be to put your intention in your hand and reach up. And method three, amongst others, is to imagine our five-pointed star where we started out from. And then relax. We'll call this our relaxation method. Relax and just let your body float back to where it was. So I had no intention except to come back to here. But I didn't put any intention in my hand, or I didn't cue these muscles. I don't know which muscles I used, right? That's the point. Let your body do its job and get out of its way. So other side, turn both feet to the other side. We won't do warrior. That was a false alarm. But since we do everything on both sides, little false alarm, warrior two, change your mind, and then go down into triangle. So it may take you a while to get down as far as you are thinking about going. So don't rush that. So I'm still relaxing, I'm still sinking. Maybe I'm still sinking further down. And then I'm saying only when you have gotten down as far as you think you want to go, twist through here to look up at your hand. So the first method also, where you climb up your leg, I would also bend that knee, right? And there's nothing wrong with that method. So again, method one, which is the physical method, is to bend the knee, climb back up. Method two is to put your intention in your hand and reach for the ceiling. And then third is the relaxation method, and relax and float. If you don't relax, it won't work. And then the fourth method is sort of the Western yoga method, the method that is obsessed with anatomy and physiology. And I could figure out what they call is the prime mover to get us back up there. Every movement has a prime mover. It has one muscle which is doing more than all the others. And I could figure it out. I'm sure that I could look in one of my yoga books and it would tell you which one. But that's the least interesting to me. So to come in, let's see. Well, before we come in, pull your hands back. See if we're going to do anything else from standing. No, that's all for our standing poses. So now see, can I hop in without disturbing the poor, exhausted baby monster? It worked. She's tired. Maybe a little catnip would perk her up. I just happened to have some catnip from my yard that she destroyed last night. Oh, baby. Baby, what do you smell? She's totally out of it. Okay, so have some water. Uh-oh, she found it. Okay. Too much water. All right. Hanging forward bend. So if you guys don't like to hop back to your downward dog, if you prefer to walk back, then you always come to the back of your mat, right? So that you can walk out. The hopping, I just do that just for fun. So if you like to hop, I'm at the front of my mat, bend my knees, and hop back. Okay. What's up, baby? So guys, keep watching for cat poses. So if I remember correctly, we already lunged, so we don't need to lunge. Pull back in your hips, drop your chest. One more breath. Drop down to hands and knees. Okay, some cat and cow. Exhale up into cat. Inhale down into cow. So this is a strong, you could say you're doing Mula Bandha and Uddiyana Bandha both on this one as you come up into your cat and then the cow. It's a good thing we do the cow because you need to do the opposite. So just so you know, I did have a teacher once who said only go from cat to a neutral flat back, and she was not a fan of the cow, probably because something that a chiropractor may have said or something like that, that maybe not to hyperextend the spine in this manner, but it seems safe to me if you are careful. How about one more of each? And sit back in child pose. All right, we'll do our pigeon pose next for no particular reason. So I'm going to bring one knee up. So remember the difference between the pigeon and the mermaid, at least the way I was taught. Mermaid, your leg is straight underneath you. Pigeon pose, the leg is folded, and I think that's more reminiscent of if you look at the chickens, next time we look at the chickens with that big foot that looks like a peace symbol. And so my leg is crooked underneath me. Some people can bring it all the way up to a right angle here. I don't see the need for that, but if that's the only way you can open your hip out, then that's fine. I'm going to settle back down over this knee. Relax here, no hurry. All right, I'm going to keep on turning around. Just to give you a different, so you can see what's going on here. So you can just totally just meditate here and just say, this is all I'm going to do. Remember, whatever you choose to do on this side, you're going to need to do on the other side. So if you meditate on this side here, you're going to meditate on the other side when we do the other leg. So think about your choice, either stay here or rise up to sort of a half cobra. Keep an eye on her to see if she strikes another pose. Okay, either hang out here or rise up a little higher. And then if you have any back issues, you cannot proceed any further than this. So engage the abs to protect the lower back, and then hands behind. Puff out your chest like a pigeon, and maybe don't ruin the whole pose by picking your foot up, but see if it's doable. You have to change your center of gravity. Okay, a little bit. Keep breathing, don't hold your breath. Well, too much. So like I say, picking up the foot, it kind of ruins it. If you were going for a meditative practice, it sort of jolts you back into out of your mindfulness. So sometimes, yeah, when you're trying to progress these poses, at first it kind of does ruin them. So let's switch legs. I'm going to switch legs and turn in the other direction while we're at it. Okay, so if you meditated here on the other side, you really can't go any further on this side. Okay, unless you have an injury, which is the reason why you're staying off of one leg or another, and then you can work around your injury and you don't have to worry about that symmetry anymore, right? Disclaimer, I'm not a physical therapist, so I don't know what I'm talking about. If you have an injury, remember, always talk to your doctor. Okay, so any back problems, this is as high as you're going to go. Otherwise, engage the abs to protect the back. Remember, the abs are like the big brother of the lower back, always protecting the lower back. You could also think of the abs as the front back. All right, so I may ruin the pose, but since I tried to pick the foot up before, I have to do it again. So I'm going to sink down, kind of pull my weight back to compensate for that foot coming up, and then see if it will. It really doesn't want to. It doesn't want to do that. I'm sorry. No, I really shouldn't go for that next level. I should just stick with the way it's good. So I'm done. Maybe you guys are still holding that pose, but I'm done with my pigeon. I'm gonna. Oh, I know. Let's come all the way back down. Relax. Reset. All right, and then we'll center ourselves back in child pose again. I'll just do an extended one with the arms out in front of me. So you guys, it's been so long since you've been here and hung out with Baby Monster. You don't know, she's lost all her winter weight. She's down to like 0% body fat. She is a single muscle from here, muscle, 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 muscle. She's one muscle all the way back to here. And she's just tough. And now that she weighs like half what she does in winter, she could jump up to the ceiling if she wanted to. She can, like she can fly. All right, great. So let's see, how about, so for our side pose, we'll totally take it easy today. And she's almost doing it. We'll do our side pike. So first we'll imitate what she's doing. So yeah, so like this. No, you gotta hold the pose long enough. Oh boy. We can't do that. So I was going to do a side pike. So this is a pike. So when we do the thing in a different orientation, gravity is working on us in a different way. So remember, so I'm pulling forward, but pulling back here. Now I don't have any weight coming down on me at all, and I don't have any pressure on the abs at all. So feel the oppositional forces. The more I pull forward, the more my own body is pulling back willfully. It's like this beautiful internal tug of war. Should feel really good on your back. And then gentle, you're working your own abs almost isometrically. All right, other side. Baby, are we disturbing you? If we're getting in your way, you let us know. Ugh. You gotta keep an eye on her, see if she strikes a pose. Don't bite me. Okay, reach, 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 reach. And as you reach, pull back. You could actually do this in partner yoga. I would recommend like a bath towel and have your partner pull back on a bath towel as you just reach forward. They could actually, on these mats, they could just drag you. Good thing about long pants on these mats is you can move around real easy. You don't hurt your knees or anything like that. And start thinking, you guys, start thinking about, would you come back to the dojo if you had the opportunity to do so? That's good. Think about, You don't have to trust my disinfection. You can bring your own favorite disinfectant. Hopefully it's something not too obnoxious, not like nuclear powered disinfectant, but that will overwhelm the entire space. But we will have a ton of air moving with the evap cooler. So even if it is an obnoxious disinfectant with a real chemical smell, we're going to be pushing tons of air out the open door and the open windows. I'm just giving you a little precursor to start to think about, and then I'll measure off some spots so that we know, and I'll get a feeling for what the maximum number of people would be safe in here. So start thinking about this stuff. Let's lay back, hug your knees. So here we go. So the upward pike is the hardest one. So are we pulling the legs back? No. The legs remain basically vertical and we're reaching up. The pulling back is done now by gravity for us. Right, baby? Keep breathing. Okay, reach even higher. All right, hope you can feel this. One more breath. And hug your knees. Okay, great. So, since we have a little extra time, because I took that break, or maybe we have time, we'll do our final twist, and then we'll do a little eye yoga. In fact, I got some more information on eye yoga for you. Nobody knows if it helps your vision, but it can't hurt, right? So let's come back over to the other side. And in a way, it's sort of meditative because you're relaxing as you do it, but your mind is on your eyes rather than the stresses of daily life. I'm just going to go back and forth a couple more times. So that's what they call a gross, or that's what Geranda called a gross meditation. Instead of trying to clear the mind, if you focus on something else, that's a gross meditation. And then I don't know what he would have referred to as a mantra. A mantra meditation is neither gross nor fine. It's a different thing entirely. And I don't do mantra meditation because I believe that a mantra meditation is just distracting you from what's on your mind. So that's almost like a symptomatic cure for racing thoughts. So if you have racing thoughts or worries, meditation, you should learn to meditate to help you calm your mind, to choose to calm your mind. You can distract yourself by thinking about a nice flowing river or clouds or something like that. And that's a minor distraction. But if you do a mantra, you're not addressing the underlying cause of your worries or your stress. You're just, for the moment, for the time that you're doing your mantra, you can think of nothing else but that mantra. So to me, for that reason, it's the least legitimate of all the other forms of meditation. Although it may be effective, in that moment, it may completely take you away, but after you're done, you're sort of back where you started from, if that makes any sense at all. And you don't have to agree with that. But I keep my meditation simple, and I don't rely on anyone else for my meditation. It all comes from me. Otherwise, you become dependent on another person, to sort of hypnotize you into your meditation. So that's why I don't like guided meditations. That's why I don't do them with you guys. One more breath, and then exhale, collapse down. And then before we go into our meditation, we'll do a little bit of eye yoga. So there's a bunch of different ways we can do it. You can do, the first ones we'll do both eyes. No, just to make sure that that one eye is not lazy. Let's do each thing with each eye. And remember, your hand is never touching your eye, right? Clean your hand first just in case, and then cup the hand and cover the eye, but don't touch it. Please don't touch it. And then with whatever eye you're doing, let's just do some big exercises. Let's go lower left to upper right, lower left to upper right, lower left, upper right, and then lower right, upper left, lower right, upper left, lower right, upper left. We'll just do 3 of each. And then how about clockwise circle, or no, let's reverse it each time to make it a little harder. So we'll go around one way, go around the other way, go around one way, go around the other way, go around one way, go around the other way. Okay, so let's go do that with the other eye. Switch hands, clean that hand, cup the hand so that the hand does not touch your eye at all. Okay, we went lower left, upper right, lower left, upper right. See, is this any different? Lower left, upper right. Lower right, upper left, lower right, upper left, lower right, upper left. Okay, now big circle, and then circle the other way. Circle the other way, and then the other way. If we do one more in each direction, we'll be even. Okay, great. And then, so uncover both eyes, clean your hands, cover up the first eye. We're back to the, for my case, it's the right eye. Let's just do one more thing, and maybe next week we'll do a different set. There's a bunch of different things that the eyes do that we don't even realize that they're doing. But, so I'm going to find, this is really funny, I'm going to find the focal point for this eye. And you're going to laugh. You're going to laugh. This is the focal point for this eye. Okay, so I'm going to focus on my thumb, and then I'm going to focus on the ceiling. And then focus on the thumb. Focus on the ceiling. So obviously I have a problem with how far this focal length is. So what I'm going to try to do, okay, we'll finish this. Let's do one more set. Okay, now, this is a neat one. So this is a bad focal length. This is way too far away. So we're going to add the breath to this too. This is really neat. I'm going to inhale as I draw my thumb closer and try to keep it in focus, and then exhale back out to that focal point. Inhale, bring it in closer, try to relax the eye and focus on the thumb. I should have a little eye chart on my thumb. Exhale, focus out. Last one, inhale in. Look at this, I'm not even attempting to get any closer than this. That's just terrible. All right. Okay, great. Other eye. Clean that hand just in case. Okay. Remember the first thing we did was find your focal length. Oh my God. Oh no. Every year it's a little further away. All right. Don't laugh. Okay. So focus on the thumb, then focus on the ceiling. And really find something you can pick out on the ceiling. And then back on the thumb, back on the ceiling, back on the thumb, back on the ceiling. One more just in case. You guys at home, you can do as many of these as you want. Okay, great. And then, so now I'm going to Inhale as I draw the thumb in closer, trying to keep in focus. Exhale, bring it back to where it was. See if that'll work. Inhale. And don't strain the eye, relax the eye to try to get it to stay in focus. Exhale. You don't have to do the breath if you don't want to. They call these, or Patanjali called these, or I don't actually know who called it, but Patanjali was doing eye yoga. I don't see it in the Yoga Sutras, so I don't know where that reference comes from, but also somebody calls these eye push-ups. So that's why you inhale down, exhale up, as if there's an effort here, right? So anyway, so that's all we'll do. There's a ton more exercises we can do, and I'll try to remember which ones we did, and then we'll do different ones in our next video. So right now, I'm going to get you in Savasana, and then I'm going to get out of the way, and you guys can meditate with baby for a little while. So let's end with our quote from Swami Sivananda, who was introduced the eye yoga to America back in the 30s, I believe. And remember, he said, this is exactly the opposite of what the CDC is saying now, but he said, illness begins with I, wellness begins with we. And I'll give you a namaste and a little namaste, and you guys meditate for as long as you like. Long, even breathing into your belly. So forget your belly lock, and just let the belly rise and fall just like an infant without a care in the world. Sleeping infant, that is.